Hi everyone! Hope you guys had a great Valentine's Day, because that's when this podcast is going to come out.
That's right. I know mine was great. Mine was fantastic.
We totally already had that.
Still recovering.
We came up with a name for our podcast. It's called Don't You Know?
Don't you know?
I feel like every time we say a rule now, we have to say, Don't you know? And then say the rule. We've been thinking about the name for a couple days now.
Off and on. Thinking about different things, different angles.
And I've been thinking about the name mostly during multiple of my lunches. And even took notes. You have Jacob here. Our personalities are so different. I like to plan. And Jacob's kind of like, let's go with the flow, whatever happens.
Very much so.
And yet, we always are choosing to do projects together or getting chosen to be partners for projects. It's just crazy because I'm like, Jacob, what should we do here? And he's like, I don't know. What do you want to do?
You're the captain. You're the host.
Or you'll be like, Raquel, it's still a month away. And I'm like, but we need to know now. That's how you know I care about something, if I actually want to plan it in advance.
Of course.
Like when you came down to visit.
Right? That was a lot of fun.
I had pretty much every single day planned. And of course we strayed for them because I think towards the end we're like, oh, I'm so tired. But we had our money set because you knew how much money we were going to spend because we had already each day planned.
There was a whole itinerary of fun activities.
Yeah, we got so much done too, so it's great.
I had the whole West Coast experience.
And it wasn't even the typical, we didn't go see the Hollywood sign and stuff like that. It was like...
Well, we saw it. We just didn't go up to it.
So it wasn't like the typical tourist kind of things. I mean, there's a couple of them, but it was more like you live in LA, so you know these kind of things, and you think it would be cool for people to see them. It's not like typical in a book. Okay, this is what we get to do when we're in LA.
It was a pretty good tour.
Since Jacob is a go-with-the-flow guy, I have decided that I will be the one that picks the topics of our podcast.
And I'm just gonna go with the flow. Don't you know?
Don't you know? I have to actually write down what I want to say. It helps me from saying like, and having to try to edit it all out in the after thing.
We don't do that. This is all just live. We just go with the flow.
Yep, including us talking over each other. So, today, since Valentine's Day has just passed, not really, but when this will be released it is, I have decided that we will be talking about love! Yay!
I'm an expert, you know.
More specifically, unsaid rules with first date and online dating. For those who said, I need this for Valentine's Day, well, we're sorry.
Well, no. It's out just in time for next year.
Yeah, just in time for next year.
You've got a whole, 360 however many days to work on you, because you're the problem.
You're the problem?
Take these lessons.
And maybe we'll do a breakup one next week for you.
That'd be pretty good too, yeah. I've had more of those than actual first dates. Go figure. I didn't even know that was possible. But don't you know?
Don't you know? Oh my god, people are gonna hate us now. Choose a different title for your podcast. That's annoying. Also, on the side note, if someone wants to draw up avatars for us so that we can use it for our logo, instead of the one we're gonna have soon, because I haven't quite finished the logo yet, let us know, because that would be great. And of course, we'll give you a shout out and send others to you and stuff.
You gotta make me look handsome. I mean, it shouldn't be too hard.
It'll be very hard. Not just kidding. I did say when I was drunk, I did say you were a 7 out of 10.
I'll take it.
That's above average.
C's get degrees.
Yeah, that's probably more like a B, no?
70?
Oh, no, 70. You're right, 70.
70 is never a B.
Sorry. 8 out of 10, there you go, Jacob.
Thanks. With sunglasses on. With my hair did up.
With a paper bag over. I'm just kidding.
All I gotta do is show up in the Ferrari.
Well, there you go.
That bumps you up a couple points. I'm just kidding, I'm not a Ferrari guy. Maybe a Lambo. No, McLaren. McLaren's for me.
That's what I want, too. I want a Spider.
Nice.
Spider McLaren, that's my goal. It's like $500,000.
We'll get there.
Yeah. We just gotta keep doing more of these. 10 cents for each one. I'm just kidding. Oh my god, do you know how many we have to do for 10 cents each one?
Maybe a lot. I'm down. It's gonna be a long journey. Follow us to our sports cars. That being said, here's our Patreon. Phew. No, we don't have a Patreon.
Oh, Patreon, here. So, I'll start off. Okay, first, I guess, since one of our topics is going to be online dating, have you used or have an online dating profile for something.
Well, yes, of course. You gotta cast a wide net. You gotta keep these up and running, you know? Keep them accurate and updated. Keep those saucy selfies going.
Which one do you use?
I use pretty much all of them. You name it, I'm on it. You can find me. I'm your guy.
So, I have a couple too I don't really use. I definitely, of course, have Tinder.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Yeah, I've kept that on since college, because me and my friends, we would all... Okay, this is kind of bad, but me and my friends would all go through and be like, who's on Tinder? And look and be like, oh, nope, nope. Oh my god, you guys look at this guy! I think you were in the room one of the times we did that, too.
Probably.
We came back from, this was not during college, it was after we graduated, and we came back to visit you. It may have been during Bearstock, because we were all at your place instead of, what's her face's name? Well, you know who it is. And, what's her face? So we were all at your place, which I don't know why we just didn't stay at your place anyways, it was a lot bigger. We were sitting at the table, we were all four of us were all on Tinder looking at him, seeing who's all there.
That's always fun. I mean, you gotta go through it. You get some bangers. You know, you gotta be respectful, because these are human beings. Some of them are just catfishes. That's true. I mean, hey, if it works, it works.
Let's do most of the kind of like the online dating, maybe like a more reference to Tinder, since most people probably are aware of that. Both of us have used it.
Sure.
So I think that would be kind of like a good, like, kind of set. Like, let's kind of refer to that one mainly.
Very relatable.
So let's do, I think the very first thing that we should say is an unsaid rule, like the very first thing that should be brought up is when you're on one of these apps, these online dating apps, and you see someone that you know, but you guys are both not really interested in each other, but you obviously know each other.
Yeah.
When you see them, do not mention that you saw them on the app.
No, you don't really talk about it. Especially if, like, you ride swipe and they don't, you're, like, not allowed to talk about that.
Especially in public, too. Like, don't be, like, out in a cafe and be like, hey, I saw you on Tinder! Come on, dude. Like, discretion.
Yeah, keep that on the down low.
You know, I mean, come on. I don't want everyone in the whole world to be knowing I'm single.
Or that you're on that app, you know? Isn't that like the thing is like you gotta pretend that you met at a coffee shop or something? Or you're volunteering or something. You gotta come up with a story.
Yeah, I think it's more and more common now that most people meet on online apps now.
I think it's more and more common that when you're meeting, you make fun of the online app that you met on. Go there and you're like, you gotta like play it up like, oh yeah, those Tinder dates, don't you know? They're terrible. Luckily, I'm not really like that, you know? Play it off a little.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually met anyone from the apps. Even though, like, every once in a while I'll go on them and I'll talk to someone. I've never actually met anyone on the app. Another one I have is, don't you know that you have to have more than one pick on your...
Oh, yeah.
If you only have one pick, I'm swiping left.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Because it's like, you don't know how to... You gotta fill them out. Come on.
I gotta see you from every angle. Come on, don't you know?
Like, what are you doing? Hiding? You're just, I just do one. It's enough. That picture's worth 1,000 words. No, it's not. That picture's like a crooked selfie and you're not even in it.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. If you only have, like, don't only have pictures of you in a group.
Oh, yeah, if that's only that, like, I'm not doing the math. Like, okay, which one of the two blondes are you? Are you that one? No, you're not.
Especially when you have, like, they only have one picture, and it's, like, a really, really nice one. It's, like, you're sitting there thinking, did you just pull that from, like, the internet? Like, who really takes, like, that good of pictures?
But you gotta see, on the other side, you're really missing out, because you look at it and you're like, okay, maybe if I swipe right, I get, like, all four of these ladies? No, that's definitely a left swipe. That's way too much trouble.
Personally, from this girl perspective, you don't want to be meeting up with, like, 4 different big dudes.
Yeah, that's a whole different Friday night.
Yes, exactly. And it does not sound like something I want to be involved in. So,
me either.
You have any?
Okay. So you gotta have a recent profile picture. You can't have one from, like, 12 years ago. Well, 12 years is a long time. You can't have one from, like, 3 years ago. Oh, here's me when I was, like, working out really hard or whatever, and then you show up and it's like, stopped working out right after that picture, didn't you? Or something like that. Like, you gotta, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm not saying you have to, like, do that. I'm just saying you have to reflect it in your picture. Because if you're not, like, what are you doing?
Don't you know you're supposed to look like your picture?
You're like the Wish app, then. What I ordered, what I received. Yeah, have you seen the memes?
I know I haven't seen the memes.
The memes are like what I ordered, and it's like a Wolverine mask, and then this is what I got, and it's like just like a white beanie or something, or like a yellow beanie.
So we did a couple for online, so let's do maybe a couple from, like, first date.
Okay.
We kind of talked about this before, just me and you. Who pays? I feel like the guy pays is, like, an unsaid rule, but I think at the same time, it's, like, slowly becoming obsolete.
Yeah, plus it's, like, really tough to do, too. I think I'm a little more, maybe that's old school, maybe it's just the correct way, I don't know, but usually I'll pick up the check, because that's, like, more traditional or whatever. However, I think it's kind of cool when they're like, oh, I'll tip, or oh, I'll get the drinks, so you get the food, or something like that. Like, okay, that's kind of a cool way to do that.
For me, it doesn't matter if the guy... Well, no, it does matter if the guy pays, but it's not a big deal if they don't pay, if we just split it, but I definitely give brownie points for, to me, it shows that you have really, really good manners if the guy pays. I don't know if manners is really the right, but shows you have chivalry.
Is chivalry dead? No, I have seen where they're like, sometimes I'll do it and they'll be like, okay, well, I get the next meal or something like that. I don't know if that's a rule or just your personality or whatever. Maybe you want to be a princess and maybe he doesn't mind just paying for all your meals.
My aunt and uncle, I was telling my aunt and uncle about this, and my aunt and uncle are, like, in their 60s and 70s, like, in that range, and, actually, no, they're not 70, they're, like, mid-60s, well, actually, no, early 60s and late 60s, and they both get their senior discount, okay?
They're a couple generations above.
And they were talking about it, and they were talking about how, obviously, in their time, the guy always paid for the check. And they were like, we feel so sorry for your guys' generation, because now it's kind of like, do we split it? Or it's like, it's never really certain, do you split it or not? Whereas in their generation, it was like, definitely unsaid, guy pays. And now, your guys' generation is kind of like, oh, I don't know.
I've done like where my last couple of dates have been like where we go and do something and then get a meal, or vice versa. So sometimes like, for instance, because this is an American podcast, we went to the shooting range, and I paid for the shooting range, and she bought our sandwiches after. It was very romantic.
That actually sounds pretty awesome. I've never been to a shooting range. I think it'd be cool.
Oh, we got some good shooting ranges out there. You can go shoot full auto rifles and stuff.
Yeah, are you kidding me? I live in California. They're the whole no guns.
Yeah, you can't own them, but you can go shoot them.
Let's practice on the guns you will never have.
Yeah, well.
And then it was my uncle. Uncle was like, well, I mean, I guess if you don't like the person, you don't want a second date, you'll just say, let's go Dutch.
There you go, yeah. Or you just say, excuse me, I'm going to the restroom, and then walk out the front door. What's she gonna do?
That's what gets me is, I don't know anyone personally, but I have heard of some girls, they don't even take their wallet because they expect the guy to pay, and I'm just like, oh.
That's a risky move. It's pretty bold. Better take your ID if you want some drinks, though.
Oh, that's true, I guess.
You know, we're going back to Tinder dates. It's an unspoken rule. You gotta give your driver's license at the beginning. Hey, here's who I am. Here's my age. I didn't lie. That's a joke. I'm just joking.
I was about to say, is that really a thing?
No, that's a joke. I'm just teasing. There's an unspoken rule. Don't lie about your age, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely don't lie about your age. I think the Tinder app, it automatically puts your age in, which means it takes whatever, like, your Facebook age is, I think. But if it's not correct, then you need to put in your bio your correct age.
Yeah, or fix it. Just fix it.
Yeah, that too.
Because you're lying on your age about something else, then. Oh, I know it says I'm 21, but I'm actually 24. It's like, okay, what are you doing? Or vice versa. It always depends one way or the other. Like, if they're lying and they're older, it's like a vanity thing. But if they're lying and they're younger, it's because they had to, like, they were doing the app when they were too young, which is, like, dangerous. So, and then now they're old enough, but they're like, I'm old enough now, but it's like, yeah, but you weren't. You were skeevy at one point, and that's your personality.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay, so it's not with, like, any of the online dating apps, but one of my coworkers was saying that her daughter had a Twitter account, and she created a Twitter account when she was too young. So she was only, like, a year younger. So she bumped it up to, I'm not going to say what age she is. I don't want to give too much. She did it where she was 1 year older so that she could make the Twitter account.
Right. Yeah, Facebook used to be like that, too. Or maybe, I think it still is. It has to be like 13. So I'm sure they're like 12-year-olds saying they're 13, 11-year-olds or whatever. Snapchat probably does the same.
So she got tired of having the wrong age on Twitter or something like that. So she changed it, and Twitter locked her account.
Huh.
And she has to have her mom, like, sign some paperwork saying that, yes, my daughter was too young when she created her Twitter account, but I gave her permission to create it, and all this legal stuff.
Yeah, because they don't want to get sued or whatever.
I was like, well, why didn't she just create a new Twitter account then?
Because she wants that one. She's got all her followers.
Exactly. Apparently she has like over 1,000 followers, and she's all like, and Justin Bieber's following me.
Oh, goodness. It's an auto follow back, I'm sure.
She got the Biebs.
No, I'm positive it's an auto follow back. You think he actually tweets? You think he's actually followed her? Oh, look at this, Savannah. Oh, I'm sorry, she might be listening. Sorry, Savannah, whoever you are, I'm sure you're very nice. But I think that's a silly way to go about life.
I can understand, like, whether or not she's got Justin Bieber following her, still having 1,000 followers, you definitely don't want to have to start over fresh. That sucks.
I know. Like our Twitter account, which you can follow us at. No, I'm just joking. I won't plug us, but we are on Twitter.
Yes, we will have a Twitter. I have to create it. Sorry.
That's okay. Don't apologize. I march at the beat of my own drum set.
We were going to call our podcast Unmentionables, but there was already a podcast out about that.
Yeah, there were a couple of them.
Yeah, and there was a couple other things. We just didn't want to get all kind of mixed up.
We didn't want to step on toes, and besides, when we get really big and they come and say, oh, that was our name first, we don't want any legal issues. So.
Plus, Twitter kind of locked our account a couple of times because they thought it was inappropriate, even though it's not really about that.
No, not at all.
But they did keep blocking it, and so I had to put in the description that it's a podcast that's not about that for them to stop blocking it.
Twitter is so PG. You know, you can't even find swear words on Twitter.
So, we will have a Twitter, and we will have an email, and I will probably put those in the description.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
But we will definitely have it before our next podcast that we do, and we can put it in there, so if you want to choose just to wait, go ahead, and of course you can send us emails about different rules that you guys have, different topics that you would like us to do.
Or you'll probably see us trending on Twitter as well. It's that hashtag, don't you know?
Don't you know? Okay, so here's one that I have. It's not really, I guess, for states, but just in dating in general, I guess. I guess we can still do that.
Alright.
And the reason why I have it written down is because I was after I was talking with my aunt and uncle and they mentioned this, and I was like, you know what, I remember that. And it's not really, it was unsaid back in probably their time, and I think it really should be something that is brought back if it's not already still unsaid. And it is that when a guy and a girl walk together, the guy was always on the outside. You're walking on the sidewalk, the guy is going to walk on the side that the road is on, where the cars are driving by.
I have seen this rule, and I think it's chivalrous. However, before I saw that this was a rule, I had just never thought about it. Like, and in my head, it's like, the cars are on the street, we're on the sidewalk. If I'm standing by this car, it's gonna hit both of us. I can't stop that car. There's nothing I can do. Like, just walk and watch for cars, because we're both not getting hit by cars. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I get that it's a rule, but like, if you haven't heard of it, I don't think you're a jerk. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm gonna walk next to her, I hope she gets hit by a car and I don't, haha. It's just like, we're just walking down the street. I hadn't thought that was such a tiny thing that people actually think about. So, I don't think you could write the guy off if he doesn't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I definitely don't mean, I just mean like, it's something that should be kind of taught, but doesn't necessarily need to be said.
Yeah.
And it's something that I have told my brothers to do. Whether or not they do it or not, I'm not positive.
Now, there's another thing, too, is that, like, when I'm walking and you're walking close, let's say that I'm walking close to the wall. If we come to an alleyway or something, I'm closer to whatever potential threat might be around the corner.
Do you have any for first dates, Jacob?
For first dates, okay, let's talk about ordering alcohol. How do you project? Are you like, okay, let's get some alcohol, some social lubricant, and how do you do that without like saying, oh, let's just get drunk because I can only talk to girls when I'm drunk? There's a fine line. And so, how do you approach? Do you ask for a drink, or what do you do? I guess what's your unspoken rule?
I don't really have one. I guess I never really thought that was really anything that was confusion about. I've never had a drink while on a date, I don't think. I don't date very often. I'm very picky. So
you need to hang out with more surfer guys.
Hang out with more surfer guys, yeah, exactly.
You were surfing for a little bit. How's your surfing been going? It is like February. It's way cold.
Yeah, I have not gone surfing in a long time. I still can't stand on the board, or sit on the board, or balance on the board, or anything on the board. I just get it into the water.
The summer's coming up. You got a whole new year.
Yeah. Back to the drink thing. I don't know, actually. I just don't really have an unsaid rule about drinks.
Usually I just ask. It'll come by and I'll let them pick first, and I'll say, would you like a drink? And we'll see. If she orders a sweet tea, I'll be like, okay. And I'll be like, would you like a drink as well? And she'll say yes or no, and then I'll pace off of her.
One unsaid rule is definitely the guy not ordering for me.
Oh, of course not. That's like...
If I tell you what I want and you want to say it to the waiter, even then that's kind of weird. It's like, why can't I control everything? Why can't I talk to the waiter?
Yeah, just defer to your lady. Let her take care of herself. You don't have to feed her too, do you? If I do, we're not having a second date. Maybe. Who knows? Depends on how we do it.
And I don't know if that's really even a thing that happens still. But you still see it on TV where usually they show the guy in a very negative way when he does it, so.
Yeah, like it was like American Psycho comes to mind.
Definitely is, I feel like, an unsaid rule, not just for me, but for others as well, that you don't order for the girl unless she has already told you what she wanted.
Right. Or if she's, like, busy or doing something and you just know. Like, it's like the 70th date or something. Oh, yeah, she wants a double cheeseburger with french fries or something, like we've been here before. I think that's fine.
Especially if she, like, went to the restroom or something like that. She's like, oh, order for me.
What's your unspoken rule for picking a first date? Who picks? And, should the guy, like, say, hey, do you want to come here and do this thing that I've prepared? And I'm thinking, because I've seen where some people say that a guy should, like, prepare the event. And say, so should we go to mini golf and then go have sushi? And that's better to do. Whereas I'm personally like, hey, would you like to do something? What are you interested in?
Okay, so all the first dates I've been on, including the ones that I didn't know were first dates, that's a whole story. It was the guy that picked, and I didn't have a problem with that. I definitely feel like if you're the one who asked the other person on a date, then you should be the one that picks what the dates includes. I don't know. I guess it's different if you don't really know the person.
Yeah, like a first date on like an app or something.
Yeah, but even then you should have at least talked to them or have read their profile to know a little bit what they're into. So you should be able to maybe come up with a first date that's...
to tailor it to their interests.
Because usually the guy is going to ask me. I don't really ask anyone else out. Definitely for me would be the guy picking what we'll do for the first date. I'd give leeway to first dates. It's not a big deal if we end up doing something I don't really like. Because, I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't want to say, I haven't dated very many people, so I'd rather not.
Oh, yeah. But like, if it's bad, you're gonna judge them, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Like, if it was, like, no thought into it at all.
You're like, oh, let's go to, Krispy Kreme. No, actually, taking a girl to Krispy Kreme is probably a surefire way into her heart. You know what I mean? Like, hey, let's get a first date. Let's go to Krispy Kreme. Other donut places are available. Let's get like a dozen glazed and just wolf them down. Whoever eats more. If you vomit, you lose.
If it's not something like that I exactly like to do, but you probably didn't know that I would. I mean, it would be a nice date for anyone else. It's just my personality-wise or hobbies or whatever. It doesn't agree with it. I mean, I'm not going to completely be like, oh, they don't know me, blah, blah, blah.
You're the worst.
You're the worst. So I won't hold it against them, but I probably will definitely, if invited in the future, probably would be like, oh, I don't actually really care too much.
I'm actually busy then. I didn't say what time it was. No, I'm always busy. Just take a hint, kid.
Yeah, I have to learn at some point to at least, because one of the times, one of the people I dated, I didn't say, and we ended up doing it a lot, and that sounded really wrong. But we ended up doing this activity. It still sounded wrong. I can't help it. Okay, anyways. Unmentionable.
Sounds like it was a good date.
And I was like, oh, this is not in my personality. I hate doing this. Why do you always want to go to date here? It's so boring.
Went to this museum.
But I never said anything, so that was on me.
It'd be like somebody asking you to go camping.
Exactly. That is too close to what I did, Jacob.
I feel like that's an unspoken rule, is your first date cannot be camping. Like, that is like an instant, like, let's go out into the middle of nowhere. That is not first date stuff.
Let's go into the middle of nowhere. I do want to take you camping, though.
Camping is a lot of fun. That's a very good date, but being in an established relationship, you can't just open up with the camping.
Or with me, I hate camping in the woods and stuff like that.
Where else do you camp?
Well, in the desert.
Oh, I see. Touche.
Yeah, we take the RV that my mom has, and we go out camping in the desert. So we still have, like, our electricity and all that stuff, which, I mean, we don't spend most of the time on the electricity or the TV and stuff like that. But we're not out in the dirt. You can go inside. We have a bed we sleep in.
Right.
And so it's really awesome to do at night. I mean, during the cold. It's really awesome to go during the cold. Because you get to, like, enjoy the fire because it's not too like blazing hot.
Right.
I learned a new trick with fire.
What'd you learn?
So when you go in camping, you know how like your whole front is kind of warm that's facing the fire.
Oh.
But like say you're sitting and your butt's cold, you know?
Yes.
Because it's not facing the fire.
You have to build 2 fires.
And 2 fires, one right underneath your butt.
Don't do that, listeners.
Don't do that.
That's an unspoken rule. Don't sit on a fire.
Yeah. So you take like the embers, is that what it's called? The little like the wood that's kind of already burnt but not like fully burnt. You
like
take that part. Yeah, like the charcoal, and you take a little bit of it, not a lot, and you put it underneath your chair. So like a little bit of the heat rises and your butt's warm.
That is pretty good tip. I usually stand and rotate.
If you put too much, it will burn.
Yeah, don't catch your cloth lawn chairs on fire.
Back to online dating, because I feel like a lot of what we probably should do is online dating, because a lot of the other first dates will kind of probably go up against situations that for later episodes, like in the movies or whatever other situations. I think they'll probably bump up against each other.
Yeah.
So I have one that I'll come back to that one.
Ooh, the suspense.
Don't you know that if you're only there for a hookup, you have to put that in your bio?
Yeah, fair enough. I guess you should be upfront. Openness and communication are very good things, whether you're looking for a good time or a long time.
Then they turn around and put like legit stuff in their bio. And I was like, oh, I like to do this. I'm interested in this. And you're like, oh, this person seems pretty great.
Well, maybe they are great.
And they look really good. And so you're like, okay, swiping doesn't match. And then they're like, hey, WTF. I had to look up what that meant. Like the first time I got it, like years ago, the first time I got that, I had to look that up. And then I forgot what that meant. And so when it happened again, I had to look it up again. Urban Dictionary. I
don't know how I don't understand why opening up with that would be. He just opens up with that? Oh, want to. Not what the.
No, it's WTF.
That's what the.
Do you not know what WTF is?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. DTF.
Oh, yeah.
I am so sorry, listeners.
Very different.
DTF.
Yeah. Down to.
Yes, I am sorry. That was on my part. I'm so sorry. Jacob's all like, I'm so confused. I don't know what's going on.
He just matched and he's like, WTF? And you're like, what, bro? Like, what do you want from me? Like, did you want me to left swipe? Like, why are you WTFing me?
Opening line, ladies. WTF.
I'm gonna try that. Next match I get, if I get one. My dusty Tinder account. I'm just joking.
Well, dude, you gotta dust it off, man. Valentine's Day is coming up.
Yeah, every time I dust it off, though, I swipe girls left and right. I can't.
And most of my swipes are just left. Left. Oh, man, dang it. Wait a second.
It's not a good way to make friends. There's an unspoken rule. Don't get the gold. It's not worth it. That's not personal experience. I read about it.
Yeah, I actually became friends with someone I met on Tinder.
This episode's clearly not sponsored by Tinder, is it?
Oh, no.
Whoops.
It's not sponsored by Tinder. But if you would like for us to sponsor and pay us, that would be great.
Change my mind.
But it's just the most common kind of dating app, and it's the easiest to kind of talk about. Like, because even now, you always hear people are like, oh, hard left swipe.
It is for sure the standard for, I mean, there are others that are more like, so I feel like Tinder is a different kind of app. Tinder is like fast food, whereas like something like a traditional online dating app where you like make an account and you go through accounts, like that's a whole different experience though. So I don't know which one's worse though. I feel like making the actual accounts feels like more desperate. Do you know what I mean? Like Tinder's so cheap. Anyone can do it. Sorry if you're a listener and you're on an online dating profile. You're desperate, apparently. No, I'm joking, but like...
Dang, come on, man. We don't have very many pins to begin with. We don't turn anything off.
Too, honestly, but I don't use them that much. This is just me, personally. And maybe I'm just a representative of a sample. What do you think? Do you have one? Like eHarmony or Match or Plenty of Fish or Farmers Only. Are you on Farmers Only?
Totally, because I totally like farmer guys. No, do not like country guys that much.
Alright, we've lost our online dating account, and we've definitely lost our,
country fans.
Country fans. They're gone. Sorry, guys. And girls. Or gals, I should say.
I'm high maintenance. You don't want me anyways. No, I'm probably like super low maintenance. My ideal date is one that involves me being able to wear jeans and a t-shirt.
See, I don't mind dressing up a little bit, though.
I don't want to.
Like, for my last first date, I showed up in my favorite shirt. It was a button-down. I had slacks. I had my hair gelled. I was looking pretty spiffy. But it was casual, though. Like, I wasn't, wearing a bow tie or anything.
I don't... I just prefer my jeans t-shirt. I don't know, because I like picking out a t-shirt, and it's got, your favorite, whatever you're interested in on.
I do not mind if my girl shows up in a t-shirt, though. I think that's kind of cool.
Okay, so let's go back to the one that's I'm going to save it for a little bit later. And the reason why I wanted to save it for a little bit later was because it wasn't really an unsaid rule. It was more of kind of just a discussion of is it an unsaid rule kind of thing?
Okay.
Can you swipe right for a friend in the picture that you think is hot?
I've thought about this, and I feel like that would be skeevy. You're not allowed to do that. As a guy, if I was hey, you're kind of cute, but I'm actually trying to get with your friend, that's gonna infuriate her. She's gonna be no, left swipe unmatched. There's no way that's gonna work. So, the only alternative is you right swipe, you date her long enough to meet her friend, and then hit it off and ditch her. That's the only way that could work, and that feels terrible as well. So, I think it's just a no-no. I think out of the two, that one's better, though. It definitely has a better chance of working.
No, I don't think so. You're getting the friend zone right out the way, man.
I don't know. But girls don't really do that, though. Girls are less likely to, she'd be no, I'm not talking to you. You're talking to my friend. Whereas a guy might be yeah, sure, come on. Well, I wasn't that good friends with him anyway. I'm just joking. Really, that's kind of bro code, too, to not do that. My answer is, I would say it's a hard no. You're not allowed to do that.
Dang, sometimes the guy in the other picture is just so much better looking.
And is he on Tinder? No. He's probably got his own thing going on. But his friend is.
He needs to get up on Tinder.
Look, if you want to meet the friend that isn't on Tinder, you gotta actually go out on the weekends. Says the guy who played VR all day Friday night.
I went out yesterday. I went to the mall and got my eyebrows done, so I'm looking good right now.
You are, however, I don't imagine you're going to find many attractive guys getting there. I mean, maybe they will be, but... I
have seen some guys get their eyebrows done.
And are they looking for, you? Or...
I'm not looking at them because it feels awkward. Unsaid rule, do not mention when a guy is getting manscaped.
I got a little bit of a funky eyebrows going on. I haven't ever done mine, ever.
I don't know if this is weird or not. When I notice my brothers and they have only one eyebrow going, I'm come here. I'm getting those hairs in the middle there. I take a tweezer and get them out.
No, you can't be rocking the unibrow. If you're disposition to getting a unibrow, you need to see a specialist. Not a specialist. I mean, just go see somebody and have them help you out.
Yeah, I mean, they're not really bad. They just have a couple here and there. I just want to help them out a little bit. Get rid of those.
You gotta know what you got, and you gotta work with what you got. For me, I don't look good with a mustache. It accentuates my nose. I can't afford that.
I told you a lot of times that you do not need a mustache. I hate facial hair.
Now, usually I go for a chin strap, but I've been getting rid of that recently, and I kind of like it. Just going baby face.
I think when you're younger, I feel like guys get the facial hair because it makes them look older. But it gets to a point where a guy just needs to shave their face so they seem younger.
I think it's entirely dependent on your face and your personality and your style as well, too.
I don't like facial hair.
Yeah, you're very biased on that, but it very much depends on what you're going for.
I was honest with you, though, that one time when you had your facial hair. I was okay, if you're going to have the facial hair, fine, but you got to get rid of that mustache, Jacob. Keep your goatee. I don't remember what you had at that time.
I went for New Year's. I tried just a mustache. It looked terrible. It was so dumb. I hated it. I got rid of it.
Well, you should have listened to me. I gave you a hard 7. If I told you that your mustache was awful, you should have gotten rid of your mustache.
I look good in anything.
So fine. I won't be swiping right because I was interested in the friend.
Don't get their friends. That would crush. First off, that would crush the person too.
Well, I mean, if they're already kind of... Oh, no, because most of the time they are good looking, so I guess that would crush them.
They're all excited to get a match, and then it's no, or actually, it's not for you. It's for your friend, who you know is more attractive than you anyway.
I'll just have to pray for the guy to be on Tinder.
No, you just got to, you just gotta go with him, go on a date, and then meet his friend. Plan B.
I feel like that's so much worse.
Infiltrate.
You're leading them on.
No, it's just love. It's all's fair in love and war.
Well then, if that's true, then I should be able to swipe and be like, hey, wait, I'm only interested in your
I mean, you could try it. What do you have to lose, really?
Yeah, I guess so.
Be like, hey, sorry, I know this sucks. I swiped you for your friend. Hook a sister up. He wouldn't do that. He would just swear at you and then unmatch you. I'm telling you, it's not gonna work. You could try it. Maybe we could each do that and report back next podcast. We'll say how that went.
Okay then, we'll both try it.
Oh gosh, we're both gonna get blocked. I'm gonna find somebody with a pretty friend. No, I'm not doing that. It feels terrible. We're not gonna do that.
What? Let's do it! You just scared. You just be scared.
No, I'm not scared. It's because it's mean. Just literally mean. Especially just doing it for the next podcast story. That's terrible. That's worse than just doing it. We're doing it and then we're gonna talk about you.
Fine. Okay then. We'll end on this one then. Don't you know that if the person has a dog in their picture, you have to swipe right?
Basically, I've heard that like increases your chances of a right swipe astronomically as having a dog in one of your pictures, especially the first picture.
I was listening, I don't remember which podcast I was listening to, but I wasn't listening to a podcast, can't name off any competition.
Until we collab. Once we're talking about a collaboration. Once we get it under, then we can bring them on the show.
I don't remember which podcast it was. But they were talking about a study that was done, and this has nothing, of course, to do with relationships, but, well, I guess relationship in like, normal relationships, not intimate relationships, but if you have a picture of a dog at work, people are more likely to think you are friendly.
Oh.
And will think more positive of you. But it only works with dogs. Like, if you post your cat, they don't necessarily think negative of you, but you don't get as high as an automatic positive reaction as if it's a dog. It doesn't even have to be your dog, apparently. It could be any dog.
It does, however, have to be alive. At the time of the picture, it has to be alive. Otherwise, you're not going to get any Tinder matches. Or if you do, they're not looking for love. They're looking for, like, rituals. And if it's at work, you're probably not going to have many friends or a long career there. You're like, oh, look at Dave. Oh, is that the guy with the picture of the dead dog on his desk? Yeah, we don't like Dave. There goes our fan base named Dave.
We're just cutting away at our fan base here.
I am Dave. That's a reference to something.
We will catch you guys next week, where we will be talking about... Shh, you don't know what we'll be talking about.
Well, that's something, though.
I already know what our next episode's going to be about. It's going to be about the one that I wanted to do this week, but I decided that we probably should have a Valentine's special, even though it's going to happen like a couple of days after Valentine's Day.
I'm just joking. I said we should do one. We did one about love. We should do one about hate. Like the unspoken rules of like family-based vengeance killings. No, that's not a podcast we should make.
We're going to get a totally different fan base than probably what we want.
Oh yeah, and possibly arrested. Okay, maybe not.
But I already know what we'll do, and it's not going to be anything like that.
No, not like that. No.
Until next time, guys. Peace out.
Later.